Hi, in the Work Less Lifestyle channel, what I'm trying to do is both give you ideas and practical advice on how to get started with an online business, but also give you some nice inspiration and some more of the kind of lifestyle side of things that goes around being an entrepreneur and having an online business where you get to work from home, because it's so different from that commute and being told what to do all day in your day job working for someone else. It's a massive, massive shift. And the good thing is the shift doesn't have to happen instantly. You can do a bit of a hybrid life with keeping the day job while you start your business for a while. Sometimes something like maternity leave or being at home with children gives you a bit of a lifestyle change, which gives you a good opportunity to start something as well. That's what I actually did. So 10 years later, I'm thinking now, what am I, grateful that I did in terms of some good decisions around starting the right kinds of businesses. But I always stop and make sure I appreciate what I really value and what I really enjoy through having these online businesses that I've built over the years. So I thought I'd share some of those today, because there's a handful that are really, really significant, far more significant than any dollar value or any transactions that have happened in the businesses. So the first thing is that having my own online business or businesses over the years has given me complete independence. And so that could look like, under one definition, financial freedom. I'm in charge of my own money and design my life the way I want, and my days look mostly the way I want, although you can't obviously control everything. But that independence has meant I can live where I want, I can bring my children up the way I want and do things that they want to do. I've got my daughters at a really good private boarding school, and my son's doing some great sports and things locally here. And then I'm around to be there for school assemblies and watch them biking and going over big jumps at the weekend. Sometimes I want to watch but also can't watch. And so that complete independence of anyone else telling me what to do or how to do it or when I'm doing it has just been the most liberating thing ever. It's kind of a problem now because I couldn't go back to working in a 9-to-5 job for someone else, pretty much unemployable. But that independence, it sort of suits my personality. I've always been brought up to be independent. And in jobs I've had, I've been having to sort of think for myself anyway. I've just been thinking really hard and solving problems for the owner of the businesses I've worked for. So it's really nice to be putting that energy into my own business. And then all the rest of my time is mine. And every dollar I earn, I get to choose what I do with it. So there's a few necessary tax bills and boring bills to pay, but other than that, it's almost like a paradox of so much choice, you don't know what to do, and there's just a luxury of freedom of choice and many opportunities. So I really value that and never take it for granted. And you just need one health scare or one thing to go wonky with somebody in the family. Something can happen anytime, and suddenly you might not have that complete freedom or independence. So I always value it and never ever take it for granted. And I try and make sure I live kind of a healthy and balanced lifestyle. And I'll talk more about getting that balance of lifestyle and staying healthy as an entrepreneur in another video, because there is a lot of mental strain when you're in charge of every decision and responsible for running a business. And also there's a lack of structure imposed on you by anyone else. There's a few interesting sort of things there around getting the lifestyle designed right. So actually, speaking of health, that is one of the biggest benefits I've had through having my own online business. When I worked in a government department in Wellington, in the capital city of New Zealand, I had a really good job, but for 6 months of the year I didn't see daylight. I would go to work in the dark and come home in the dark. And on top of that, which was awful when I had young children, they were asleep when I left and asleep pretty much when I came home again. So I was out for the best time of day in an office in a grey cubicle working hard for someone else. And so that's really bad for your mental health and physical health. Sitting at a desk all day is not good. Commuting is ghastly. So I never enjoyed that side of my job. I enjoyed the intellectual side of the jobs I had. They were really interesting and worked with great people, but the schedule was awful and really unhealthy. And I would be stressed about the early starts and then not sleep well. I'd have to, sort of fit in when I ate and had coffees with what was happening at work. And now I'm at home, I go for a walk when it's sunny. It's, today's a great day to do recordings and do some work on the YouTube channel. And other days I won't touch the laptop at all and I'll be outside all day. So every day I do things like walk the dog for at least an hour. I've got chickens in the garden because I don't need to live in the capital city, so I've got fresh eggs every morning. I get to spend time with my children before they go to school, and then there when they come in from school every day. And so there's little things like that that are the little micro habits in your day that all compound to be how, the end result of all those little decisions and routines is how healthy you are. So I get to eat fresh food at home that I prepare from scratch in the kitchen at home. I'm on my feet a lot. I'm not sitting at a desk 8 hours a day, and I'm not commuting surrounded by sick people all day in public transport, or sitting in more hours in a car, sitting in traffic. I'm not as stressed as I used to be. I used to iron my shirts for the week on a Sunday night, and I would get eczema, would start in the crease of my elbow, and by the time I'd finished my ironing, just that Sunday night stress for the week ahead, I'd be covered in eczema and itchy and scratchy all night, and it would sort of subside, but it was just like a complete stress trigger. So I'm far less stressed day to day, although there's always something going on in business. It's never boring and completely stress and drama free. There's always something to do, little fires to fight here and there. But certainly, I'm in charge and I get the benefit when I do it well, and really value that. And so just little things like planning my days and activities for a week around the weather is really nice, or timing to go to the gym when it's not busy, when everybody else is there for the after work rush. I've got that nice feeling of financial security, which has been a real relief on the stress levels, because when you're working for someone else, you still don't really have job security, and you've got certain commitments of your time, and you've got certain costs of living, and there's just like so little room to move to get ahead. Whereas once you've got your own business, if it's a good business model and designed well, there's really no upside. If you've got some digital product and you're selling it online, and you get the formula right and do the work right and have a quality product that people want and know how to find them, a few things to get right there first. But once you've got that, the sky is the limit, and you can scale exponentially. You're not just trading time for dollars, which is so capped. So those are a handful of the things, really. The feeling of complete independence, being able to pay my way, make my own decisions, design my days without having to ask anyone else for permission or forgiveness. That's really important. Much, much healthier, just because of less time sitting at a desk is the biggest one, I reckon. But also stress and being able to spend time outdoors. I spend hours and hours outdoors every day, whether it's in the garden or walking the dog or playing tennis. I go to a sauna where there's outdoor swimming in the freezing cold lake in between each round, so lots and lots of time outside. And then also, a thing that I didn't really expect but has been a real benefit of having these online businesses, I'm really proud of what I've created. So some of the books I sell on Amazon are really, really good books. I didn't write them myself, but they're great books and they sell really well. And it's nice that Amazon pays me every month for the royalties, for the sales. But I'm really happy to have something like that sold in a business I own. It's made me really proud. I've built a software business that's been super challenging. I've had to learn all sorts of things about codes and developers and a whole different language and world of work, completely different to what I've done in government department jobs or working in a university before. So I've been really proud of sort of overcoming learning challenges and creating quality products and services. If an event goes well, you see that sort of Zoom chat at the end as it wraps up, and it's really, really nice. It's a great feeling. So if you can build a business that you enjoy doing the work and then your customers enjoy receiving the products or services, it gives you a really nice sense of pride. And if you've got a day job and you do well, you can be very proud of your quarterly results, or a nice performance feedback meeting with a manager, or nice feedback from a team interview thing, or whatever's going on in the modern workplace. You might get a good bonus. But it's really your energies helping someone else. Whereas if you do your own thing and you've got your own business, it's something that you can be really proud of, and especially proud that so few people actually do it. A lot of people talk about doing it, and very few people do the necessary steps, have the discipline, have the grit around that decision making to actually press the button and get started. And you can be really proud of yourself if you ever start any business that makes $1, because so many people just can't even comprehend that level of work and effort to get it out the gates. And some people talk about it forever and then never do it. And some people, start but just don't continue to the point where it takes off. So I want you, following this, to feel really encouraged that you can do this, start an online business. It doesn't need to be huge, it doesn't need to be built overnight, but there's plenty of opportunities out there online for different products and services that can be run from home, loads and loads of platforms, loads and loads of business models. It's never been easier to learn the skills than it is now. You can do little $20 Udemy courses here and there and micro-learn the skills you need, or hire a consultant on Upwork for a couple of hours, laser coaching on a skill you need to get good at, or to review something you've done for the first time. So really exciting to design a life you love and a business you love. But apart from the dollars, the really big things are those like, if you think of that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know, at the bottom of the pyramid, you've got the shelter and food and just survival. So you get that when you've got a business running well. And then right through to the top of, you know, self-actualization, like you've got this feeling of giving back and helping other people if you've got a business that helps other people with good products or services. And there's some in the middle as well. But just a solid business just meets all your human needs and you're in control of your life. And being out of control can be really stressful. And there's no such thing as true control, but having your own assets that you own and operate, you can diversify over time what you're doing, both in terms of what your business does, but also what you own that earns you passive income. You can maybe get into property or do some things that wouldn't be possible as quickly through a paid day job. So, short video, just wanted to share some of the really big things that have changed for me as a result of having my own successful businesses. So not to underestimate that feeling of pride in having solved difficult problems, taken on a challenge and eventually got there, and having seen something that was in your head come to life and see customers buy it and like it. So you can choose your own adventure and you can design your own business and lifestyle. And as you're getting started, make sure you're really careful to design something that you love and want. It's not really the dollars in the bank, it's how your day-to-day looks. Who do you have coffee with? Where do you go for a walk? Where do you even live? Suddenly where you live is completely wide open. A lot of digital nomads head to Bali. I like living in rural New Zealand, in the mountains, in nature and outside all day, every day, not commuting. And, you know, everybody will choose something quite different. So it's really interesting to see you know, what values drive you, and good to do a little bit of deep thinking about what you do value in life and how you can help your business give you that. So I've been able to travel a lot through my business, and I love travel. To me, that's the ultimate luxury, far more than having a Lamborghini or posing in a private jet. You know, I'd much rather just take a cheap and cheerful flight and go somewhere interesting and have a really cool holiday and have the time freedom to be able to go and do that. So I'll talk more about things like travel and lifestyle in another video, but this was just really to give you some of the big things that really change when you are running your own business. We'll see you in the next video.